Good evening, good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Saturday, August 31st, 2019, and the time is 10:44 p.m. I'm thinking more about this movie, The Terminator. And as I listen to my past notes on the movie, I noticed more similarities between the Nazi Party and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I did mention with the Terminator that Sarah, the mother of a big nation, a chosen group, that she is flirting with her pet lizard. She's saying that, well, if her boyfriend Dan doesn't want her, she knows that the lizard loves her. So she's consoled about the event that she gets stood up. But like I mentioned, the symbolism of this reptile, that it was a warning. When you see the pet lizard, something happens. It's like a warning to let you know there's trouble that's shortly to brew, and she doesn't realize that there's going to be a problem. Now, I made mention in the prior audio tapes that the Terminator character is linked with this reptile. He represents the reptilians. And in the counterpart, she has someone that wants to protect her, who actually becomes the father of her future son. It's all prophetic. And then he dies. But as I thought about this tribe, this biblical tribe, Israel, and the lizard / Nazi, because the Terminator is a German and is about to devour Sarah's children. Then I thought about what happened with Hitler / the Nazi German party. Well, it is said that Hitler died in a bunker in Berlin. Now, I was told this information for years. In the 1970s, there was a program, an in-depth program on the Nazi Party, World War II. And they say that he died in a bunker, that he bit into a cyanide capsule. And I think he could have also gotten shot or something, commit suicide that way. And the Allied forces said that they had found him dead. There was a body. People really wanted him, the Russians and the US. So what happened? They said he died. But now you have modern researchers who do real research about the Nazi Party. And it is said that he did not die in a bunker, Hitler. They said he was able to escape, and he eventually winded up in South America. There is a German community in South America. And again, remember about the Boys of Brazil movie that came out also in the 1970s about genetic research, about cloning of Hitler? What was that all about? I thought he was dead. And why would they want to clone his body? Well, whether dead or alive, they're about purpose. And the purpose is to initiate his empire. And then I quickly started seeing a parallelism between a recent event involving Jeffrey Epstein, who died about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And what did they say about Jeffrey Epstein, who is Jewish, and he's from New York City? What did they say about him? That he gave money to scientists at the university level, Harvard at that, to get this, to impregnate with his sperm 20 women at a time. Why 20? I don't know. But it wasn't just 20 women. I heard it was 20 women at a time, to impregnate these women with his sperm/DNA. And 2 days before his alleged suicide, he writes a will to put all his assets, $577 million, into a trust fund so that no one could confiscate his wealth, which is ridiculous because it's known that what he did was illicit activities. And it's a federal crime, trafficking children, and that they should have taken his money. Anything associated with that crime, that federal crime, is to be confiscated, but they never did that because I suspect that those monies are being left aside, that he's actually working for agencies, whether in this country and or other nations / Israel / Britain. But they said he committed suicide, and they did show in the newspapers a body on a gurney that kind of looks like him, but there's some abnormalities. I'm sorry, anomalies with what he looks like. So, this seems like history repeating itself, 21st century style, and not even with our technologies of today, exposing, they're still trying to trick us. They have a body, they did an autopsy, and even this autopsy is problematic. So, you have Hitler, who allegedly committed suicide, and then you get Jeffrey Epstein, who allegedly committed suicide. And then you have Hitler, who was involved in a genetics breeding program to promote his Reich. Now look at Jeffrey Epstein. He's also building his own nation, something, 20 women at a time. So you see, is Jeffrey really dead? And did Hitler really die in a bunker? And when did he die? Why the mystery? Someone who is hated as much as Hitler was, and they don't know where his body is? It seems like a smokescreen. They let you know what they want you to believe, but the actual whereabouts of him is cloaked for the masses. And as for Jeffrey Epstein, I never heard anything about a funeral. You don't hear anyone who claimed the body, if anybody did. So what's the deal? Is Jeffrey Epstein going to pop up somewhere later in life? And where is his children to be? People like that, they just don't talk about that he's going to do something. He's already done it. And it's a shame. And those young ladies should have a right to be heard. And it should be made public what this Epstein did, as a means to alert the public, so that if something like this is to happen, the red flag. There should have been a red flag about all his activities, but someone higher up is blocking. Yes, there's definitely a correlation between Hitler and Jeffrey Epstein, dead or not dead, suicide or no suicide, baby program on both sides. It's history revisited 21st century style. This is again food for thought. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.